how's it going? You're watching Read the Room from the Solano College TV studio. Today I have with me Elijah Bautista, Alyssa Tinsley, and Destiny Ribeiro. And today we're going to be talking about the topic of nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is everywhere. You probably saw in my co-stars' demeanors that they all have different messages that they're displaying through their nonverbal cues. And what we're going to talk about is how nonverbal communication has many different forms, and it turns out it's actually 93% of all communication is nonverbal. So it can be cut up though into two separate parts, vocal and physical. And first we're going to begin with the vocal part of nonverbal communication. And the funny thing about that is, whenever I hear that there's vocal nonverbal communication, it's kind of confusing because you think, oh, well, it's vocal, it must be verbal. But verbal refers to the language that we use, not just the sound of our voices. And so the sounds of our voices, actually, our delivery is what it's referred to, can change the message of the words that we're saying. For example, just to start us off, I'll say, oh, the pitch that we say words in can actually change a lot. Because if you say something in a high voice like, oh, hey, versus, oh, hey, it changes the meaning of it a lot, you know?
Yes, correct. I like to bring that up because also you can also use tone as well. Pitch and tone also like are the same thing, but yes, the enunciation of like, oh, very, very high, like hello, between like the very deep, like, you know, it just changes like your little vocal cords of how you say things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it changes the message a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed too.
That,
oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I noticed that when I talk to different people, my inflection changes. So like maybe when I'm talking to someone younger than me, then my tone kind of softens, my voice softens a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I'm talking to someone older than me, I make sure that I speak loud enough for them to hear as like a sign of respect.
Right.
Especially like a grandma or like a grandfather,
Yeah.
like somebody that's like way, way older who may have hearing problems.
Mm-hmm.
But for a child, it's like, hi, you want a cookie? And for
Right,
a
yeah.
grandpa, it's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, it can be something, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, if you swap those, like if you say, hey, to a little kid, you know, he's going to take
They
that
gonna get scared, like, oh my
a whole
God,
different
Yeah.
way.
like,
Yeah,
I didn't do it.
Stranger danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My head's not in the cookie jar. Yeah.
Or like if you talk in like a kiddie voice to your boss, you know,
Because
whatever
No.
you say, they're just going to take it wrong.
How do
I
I
mean, it's
pause? Because I take
disrespectful.
offense to that. Because I do that with my bosses all the time. I'm like,
do you?
hey, what's wrong? Oh my gosh,
Are you and
no.
your boss cool like that?
Yeah, but then you gotta watch that sometimes because you never know how that can flip off sometimes. So, but yeah,
Well, yeah,
So
it
that's-
depends on the person.
in the situation, yes, the
Yeah.
person is very important.
because I'll show you. I was like, hey, bubblegum, and she was like, hold on, this is
Bubblegum.
so HR. So many HR violations right here.
Really cool boss then.
You can even think of when you do it, because like during work, you can't do that.
Yeah, I do it
I'd
during work.
imagine so, right?
Oh,
But
I
then
do it.
after work, then it's like, hey, cute pie.
Oh, well, I ain't doing all that.
That's crazy.
I'm not doing all of that now. But no.
But yeah, it does depend a lot, you know, on who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's also more beyond just pitch and delivery. Like, there's also volume. You know, you can't just yell at everybody. Nobody's going to listen to you if they
If
think
you're
you're coming on
constantly
too
yelling
strong.
at them, yeah, because I've always heard that like growing up. Because for me myself, I have a loud voice, and for me, like I've always been taught like, you know, speak from your diaphragm, sing from your diaphragm, do all this from your diaphragm. So it's like when I speak to somebody, it's not that I'm yelling at you. It's mainly more as like I want to get my point across. But then I've learned throughout my years of growing up, it's like you don't have to yell at somebody just to get your point across. Like you can speak at a slow, moderate pace, or you don't just have to be like, I'm gonna do, but
Yeah.
you can just be like, I'm gonna do this and we're gonna go from here. But it doesn't have to be like, because sometimes me talking loud, it can come from me being super excited and me being super happy about
Right.
something. And then just like my bubbly personality or my energy that I may bring, that's what I think of. But Destiny may not like that. She may just be
Right.
like,
Yeah.
this girl is way too loud next to me. She needs to like tone it down a little bit. But yeah, it definitely does depend on like how your volume is coming off. Because if you start yelling at me, I'll take offense to it. I'm just like, all right, now looking at you sideways.
Yeah.
But then it's like, if you hey, Alyssa, what's up? Da-da-da-da, then I'm like, okay, we're cool.
Yeah.
But if you start yelling, it's a different story. But,
And it's different between the different applications of it too, because, you know, if you're giving a speech, Nobody wants to listen to you if you're quiet and mumbling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also, if you're yelling at people, it can get old pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on the situation you're in, you know?
Like if you're acting, like I know Destiny, she does theater. So I know for that, for sure, you have to like project your voice because you want the person all the way in the back to hear you,
Yeah.
or someone in the movie theaters to hear you, you know? But it's like, you don't want to just talk to your front row audience. You want to speak to everybody.
Right.
But then, like you said, if you are doing a speech or something like that, you don't want to just be like, hey, what's up, guys? So I'm going to tell
I
you,
don't
like,
think they even heard you.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. It's just like yourself in the microphone that hurt yourself. Like, but.
And another thing that usually comes out a lot in speeches is the rate of speech, how fast you speak.
Yes.
And that can also affect how well people are able to receive your message too.
Because like if you speak way too fast, like they might be like, oh, can you repeat yourself? Or can you say that one more time? And you tell yourself like, oh, okay, I need to actually realize to slow down, and I don't want to do that again. But in the
Yeah.
moment, you're like, oh my god, I need to say what I need to say. But then, like I said, the speaker or the listener will be like, what did you say?
Yeah, like I'm just trying to get a clearer view of what you said exactly, but it's like being nervous. So, like we said earlier, you being nervous can really take over your speed of talking. Like how you come off, it can just be like inside of me, it's like I just want to hurry up and get this over with. But in all actuality, it's just like nobody heard a lick of things that I said right now. So
Yeah.
what do I do?
Like to the audience, it could just be a dead giveaway of how nervous the speaker is. Like if I hear someone talking way too fast, I'm like, oh, they're probably nervous.
Yeah.
And when I speak loud, it's trying to come off as confident when I'm not. Or
Right.
when I'm too quiet, then I'm like, I don't want to look like I'm nervous or shy. So that's why I usually pick up my volume, stuff like that. But it can be difficult to find that balance. Like she said, I do theater, and when it comes to vocal variety, if let's say I'm in a scene where I am furious, but sometimes less is more, and you don't have to be loud in order to portray that you are mad.
Right. There's
So
many
it could
different
be
ways
like
to do it.
a silent rage, you
Yeah.
know? So it just depends how you go about it.
But how would you go about it with like a cheerleader? Like
Right.
they're prone to be loud because it's like, I want to get the crowd pumped. Yay, let's go. But then it's like, what if you have a monotone cheerleader? What do you do from there?
And she's
Yeah.
not a very good cheerleader.
Well, yeah. For real. For
She
real.
might want to just drop cheerleading for herself.
Don't quit your day job.
Right. It's funny too to think about the different professions that it affects, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of speaking of talking, we also have our hands, and so we tend to, when we're talking, we just happen to just move them. Or when we're in a conversation, like, oh, I'm talking to Andrew, I might be like, hey, man, like, but it's like I don't have to realize I'm like using my hands; it just happens automatically. It's kind of just like my body's doing it on its own type of deal. So it's always like a good thing. Or it's like
True.
Just
Yeah, that's a good segue into our next segment, which is the physical part of nonverbal communication. And it's like you said, it goes along with what you say too. It's kind of just, I'm doing it right now. It's just like really, you know, it's really, what's the word? I don't even know.
Like, oh,
Subconscious.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
just do it
Yes.
Mhm.
and it
That's
happens.
correct.
And it's the same with the vocal part too, you know. But once you control it, you can really enhance the message that you give to your audience. But yeah, gesturing is a big part of that.
Important.
It's so important.
Mhm.
Like, have you heard of the viral hand gesture that saved a kidnapped 16-year-old's life?
I have not.
Oh, from the car?
I
She-
have
was
Was,
she in a
was
car?
it was she in a car?
I don't know.
Or what? Okay. What I heard.
explain?
So there is a hand gesture that got popular on TikTok, where the hand gesture is like a help me gesture, and you go like that.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, it got popular because during COVID-19 there was a lot of domestic violence just went through the roof, and so this nonprofit organization, I think they're called Canadian Women's Organization, something like that, but they're for to end violence against women. And they were like, okay, if you're ever in any danger, then use this signal. And this teenager did this signal when she was with her kidnapper in public, and it ended up saving her life. Someone called the cops, and
Wow.
yeah.
See, that's a good example, of how we can communicate without using words at all.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for the vocal aspect, if you're to use your voice, you're most likely going to be saying words. But that's the cool part about physical communication, is that you don't need to say anything.
But you just got to make sure somebody's looking at you.
Yeah. But you can say so much with just your body,
Mhm.
Like that body language can say a whole bunch. Like earlier, like me looking disinterest and
Yeah.
Des looking happy, happy, and like just little things like that. It's just
Yeah.
like your body language speaks more, in my opinion, when it comes to nonverbal communication. Because I can be walking down the street with my head like to the side, and you're just like, what's going on over there? Like,
Right.
but you really don't know. Like, I can really just be like digging in my ear, but you don't see my hand in the back. You just see me like that. But it could be little different things, like how you can read. And some people can really read your body, and they can really just see how you may feel.
Yeah, especially police and detectives, FBI people. They're really good at that because, they're interviewing. They look for all these different cues. In your face and
how?
stuff.
Because my brother's a police, and I hate
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Because we be talking, and he be like, "Bro, I can tell." I'm like,
It's
"I don't
like
need to lie to
analyzing
you."
you.
Yeah, I'm like, "I don't need to lie to you." Like,
Yeah.
I'm a grown woman. That's one thing I'm not gonna do is lie. Like, talk to your
Right.
girlfriend. She may lie to you, but I'm not gonna lie to you. But like, they can really analyze everything you're doing. Like, they have like X-ray goggles, but they really don't. But yeah, that's definitely something.
They're trained to do that.
Yeah, but
too.
that's super annoying because we're at dinner and he like,
Tell something.
I'm
Tell
like-
something. You're hiding something.
no, for real. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it does say a lot. I was thinking back to how I was when I did the intro. Like, lean forward, it shows interest. Imagine if I was doing it, I was just like,
Slouch back and
Hey,
didn't
Yeah.
so, like,
you know.
like basically showing like kind of like in a way didn't care, but you do care, but you're just like not showing it. People might be like, why is he slouching back? Like that's
Yeah.
like that seems kind of like
Lazy
standoff.
or
Yes.
yeah.
That's a good
And that's the
word.
thing too, because it's like if you were slouching back, the viewers can see it as like, okay, you're probably just like nonchalant, like you don't care. It's like this
Without the
world
gray
is just
head.
gonna crash anyway. Like that's just probably how some people may see it.
Yeah.
But it's like in all actuality, they just don't know that it's probably just like within your assignment. You're just trying to express something or be an example of something. Because like I was looking down at my hands, and that can be something like, what is wrong with her? Like, is she thinking? Her mind must be running. Like, what's going on?
Right.
But it's really just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
really just wondering what I'm about to eat after work or after this.
Yeah, they go back into like analyzing
Yeah.
like how you see people like oh, like I said, your example, like digging in your ear, and you're just digging, but they don't understand. They might just see it in the wrong way, or they'll be like, oh, okay, but then have to continue with their day. It's just so different. It's crazy.
And, it's important to watch your physical nonverbal communication too, because depending on the situation you're in and what you're saying, if your body doesn't match up with what you're saying or the position that you're in, people are going to think you're just disingenuous or like you don't care, so it's important to be on top of that. One thing I think about a lot is crossing my arms. If I'm in a situation where I'm trying to be personable with somebody and relate to them, crossing your arms is just creating a physical barrier between you and your body. Whereas if you have your hands like at your sides, you're more open, or at least if you're sitting like this, you just seem more open, more easier to talk to. So it's important to keep that in mind too.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, because if you do this to me, I'm thinking you stuck up. So if I see like any type of like, oh, hey girl, like then I'm cool to talk to you.
Right,
Like I feel
yeah.
welcome to talk to you. But if I see like you're like this, or I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm just cool off of you. Let's just go to the next. But,
It's interesting because there's also like societal labels to some body gestures. Like
Oh, true.
crossing your legs can be seen as being feminine, and if someone were to see a guy crossing his legs like this, and they'd be like, "Oh, he's fruity." And
Yes.
with that-
I'm like,
Don't look
Elijah!
at him. Usually when I see like another guy, I see him do it like this, and then whenever there's a girl, I would see her do it like this. But I myself would not do that.
I don't know the difference. I just know I can't barely hold it up for long. I'm just tired.
That's a
Right.
good example, though,
Yeah.
of how, we can send cues unknowingly through the way our bodies are.
When I had to act like a male character, I couldn't, sway my hips or anything. I had to walk straight. I had to, had to make sure my body was straight,
Oh.
So it's little details like that can tell you a lot.
Eye contact is another thing, too. I can't stand it when I'm talking to somebody and they can't
Look at you.
look in my eyes,
But don't you feel kind of like creeped out low key?
Yeah.
Like if I'm just
Well, no, not like that. I mean, that's all
like, what are we doing? Back
Yeah,
up.
It's enough eye contact, but not too much. We're just like
Yeah.
literally like.
But then, so I feel like that is a sign of respect too, because it's
Yeah,
like if you're meeting your significant other's parents or family, you have to make eye contact, especially
Right,
with the
yeah.
mother or the father. Like when growing up, like for me, I grew up with 3 older brothers, and like I'm the baby girl, so I've seen like their girlfriends come in, or like my brothers meet their their families or whatever, and then like my dad had to teach them, like when you give the father a handshake, look him in the eye, firm handshake, and say, hi, my name is such and such and such, and go from there. But it's like that's a sign of respect right there. So my dad always said, like, if you keep your eyes low, nobody's gonna respect you. If I'm talking to you and you're not looking at me, I'm not gonna respect you. But sometimes some people just have like a lazy eye, or they just don't want to like really look at you for so long, because it's like a staring contest, and then like you get creeped out eventually, because it's just like, okay, can you blink?
That's
Or
all I was saying.
Right.
Like, there's enough. It's either too much or it's like not enough. So
Yeah.
you
You gotta
balance
find
of,
something in the
looking
middle.
at them and then like looking away, like looking down, and then we're back to you.
Right.
I guess it
Yeah,
depends
yeah.
who you're talking to.
That is
because,
also very
like with
true.
handshakes. I know some people who like a good firm handshake, but then if I do it to some other people, they'll be like, "Oh, she's aggressive."
Yeah, she's so rough.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why
right.
is
That
she-
happens to me all the
What
time.
is she trying to do?
Like, girl, you trying to arm wrestle right now? Like, let's get this together. Because that's like, I was watching The Godfather from my film class, and then they were doing hand gestures for respect by like kissing the Godfather's hand, like when they walked into his meeting or like wherever he was present, whoever he was talking to, they would walk up to him, "Hey, Godfather." And then I was just like, this is a grown man, y'all kissing his hand, but it was a sign of respect and to show like, okay, you're the boss, I trust you. Whatever plan you have to kill this person or take his money or whatever, we're gonna go through with it.
Right,
But that's because we respect you. And so that's how I looked at it. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool in a way. But then it's like, if you go to France or somewhere,
Yeah,
the
it's
first thing they do,
interesting
they
the
kiss and
cultural differences,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
different.
Or
So I
how they'll bow in some cultures.
Yeah, they'll bow at
Like
you.
in Japan.
Yeah.
They always bow.
Or like where hugging is like a no unless they know you very well.
Mm-hmm.
True, yeah.
Cause yeah, somebody bowed at me. I didn't know what that was. I was like, bro,
That's the way of showing respect.
But I didn't know that. I was
Yeah.
just like, bro.
Go
on.
Seeing like I'm trying to understand like everyone else's like other cultural, you just have to like respect it and be like, oh, that's how they do it out here type of deal.
Mhm.
So it's just very interesting to see how like obviously over here, handshakes or whatever, or like I'm not gonna go up to someone and go kiss them immediately. They'd be like, whoa, you're a weirdo.
No, for real. That's how
But
it
like
is.
like I said in France, or in France, they just boom, do it. They don't care.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah, because they'd be like, wait, come on. Yeah.
You say wee wee.
That's what you say, right? I don't know. Don't. Hey, I didn't take French class. Don't judge me. I don't know. But no, I just feel like that's certain things, because even like when you watch TV or movies, like you see different gestures of how certain things play out, and you're just like, okay. So if I pick up the double kissing and then I like hold Destiny's hand, I'm like, hi, and she's gonna be like, girl, don't do that. Like,
Yeah,
she
just
may
go
feel
ahead.
creeped out about it, but it's like you may respect it. You may be like, okay, yeah, she's a cool person, I respect her, but she may not like that.
Not
So
at
that's what it's like. How do you defer
Mhm.
what to do and what not to do?
That reminds me too of the thumbs up sign.
Mm-hmm.
Like pretty much everywhere, it's a good
yeah.
symbol, right?
Mhm.
It just means okay. But in Iran, it's extremely disrespectful,
How?
and they'll just like get mad at you just for a
If you
thumbs
do
up.
that, then
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know what it means. I just know they get mad at you. They get
Like
mad
I
at
don't
you.
know. You shouldn't do it.
So like what? They gonna cut off your thumb or something?
It's like a cultural thing,
Oh.
but yeah,
So
it's just funny seeing the translation of those.
No, because remember
things.
growing up, we used to play Heads Up, 7 Up in elementary
Oh,
and stuff.
yeah.
And then like I used to lie and be like, oh yeah, they hit me, but they didn't hit me. And I used
Yeah.
to be like, so I feel like, yeah, because if you go like this, you're thinking like, yeah, good job.
That's a good
But
thing.
then if you do, okay, or no. But then it's like, if I go to Iran, if I do this, what's going to happen to me? Yeah, like, I'm kind of scared now. Like, I don't want to do that.
But there's so many different gestures too that have so many different meanings.
What about the peace sign? Like,
Yeah,
if
the
I give you the peace sign, I can be like,
yeah.
peace on earth or deuces, toodaloo. Like,
Yeah, there's so many
Yeah.
different meanings to that too. You know, just
I know that,
a single sign.
When we hold up the number 3. Yeah, right. Like
This
some
or
people do
this?
it differently. I know that
Oh,
in some
true.
other places they hold the thumb up instead.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That feels
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah.
But okay. I don't. It's like a K. Like, like I don't know.
Yeah, and like, or it's like sometimes people say like this is nice, like oh nice.
But
like,
this gives me like okay.
or
Yeah.
also okay.
Yeah,
like,
'cause,
Say
like-
okay.
Yeah, like when we're
Yeah.
texting each other and not emoji, you'd be like,
yep.
Yeah.
I hate this. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
Or like this emoji.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is that? Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's so much you can do with just your hands, you know.
yeah.
Like, you can give heart symbols. Like,
Yeah.
Many
Or
other
this. Yeah.
what is that?
It's small heart. It's the same thing as a heart, but just with your finger. and
I've
thumb.
never seen that before.
Actually.
Is it?
I don't know that.
Is it Asian cultures?
Ooh.
Yeah, mostly on the.
No.
Bro. This went left. Okay.
No, I mean like, that's like more recent to be honest. As that really had.
Yeah, because I have never seen it.
Yeah, people do this
Yeah,
sometimes,
I don't know
or like
if
in like
Blame
Asian-
TikTok.
Yeah, to be
that
honest.
makes sense. TikTok does.
Yeah.
They add a whole bunch of different things.
I mean, over here we have the bird, but unfortunately, I don't think you do that for camera purposes.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you do a sensor, but I'm not
No,
gonna
this
do
bird.
it. That's
Oh,
not the bird I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Well, that's gonna be the bird we talking about.
Okay.
Wait. Have you guys ever done the silent coyote in school?
Oh my
yes.
god, yeah.
I did that to you guys during our practice today. I was
Yeah.
like, quiet, yeah.
Some people don't even know what that means though, probably.
And I still
Yeah,
to
that's
this
That's why I
day,
didn't do it.
Like, what are you
I learned that
doing?
in summer camp, and so like whenever my dad gets like annoying to me, I'd be like,
He'd be like,
and he think I'm meditating because you know like when you meditate, you
Yeah,
be like
oh
this.
my God.
I'm like, no, you be quiet, stop talking. But he doesn't get it.
It reminds me of air quotes too.
oh yeah, like, oh.
Yeah.
And that really can change how people perceive what you're saying.
Because you can
know?
sound so sarcastic.
Yeah, and
Like,
they'll be and
okay.
they'll take offend to it.
Yeah.
You're like,
Do you
no,
guys
like-
use
That's
that
really
unironically?
cool, you know.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't
Sometimes
used
I'll be
air
like,
quotes in so long.
oh, I didn't mean to, and then I'll say it in a sarcastic voice, and my friends will look at me. I'm like, well, I was joking.
Yeah.
Right.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that because like I haven't did this in so long. When I did this, I think about bunny rabbits because you know like if you have like a black wall and a light behind you, you do this. It's like a bunny rabbit. That's what I think of.
Oh,
So I
what are
don't.
those called?
I don't.
Shadow
Shadow
puppets.
Yeah,
puppets?
yeah. So I don't think of like okay, like I
Oh.
don't think of that. Wow, that's crazy.
Like I said, our minds and just they think so differently. That's why when
Mm-hmm.
you see people's body language or hand gestures, we just tend to like our brains like, oh, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Why are they doing that? Are they okay? You know, this really just racks our brains.
And you never really understand how like hand gestures can go a part of like nonverbal because it's like I didn't really know about that until like really diving deep into this topic because it seems like everything that we do throughout the day is like nonverbal in a way, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
would never really think about it until like you really dive deep. Like this is. I didn't think anything of this for sure. Like I'm
Yeah.
still stuck on this. I didn't think
Oh.
anything of that.
Yeah, no, I do that sometimes. It just happens. I'm like, oh, haha, and then they look at me. I'm like, hey, you're just doing it, just a
Yeah.
gesture. You get mad at me for it? Probably.
A big thing though is sign language,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
because that's just
Yeah.
all nonverbal communication, you know.
Yeah, I actually found out this means hi in sign language.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
didn't
doing
know.
this.
I thought that was like flicking something off your hair. I didn't know that. Because it's like, I know like A, B, C.
Yeah, doing.
I don't know. But I know like some of the ABCs and it's like you try to put certain things together. I was watching Creed and what is Michael B. Jordan's girlfriend in the movie? She was like learning sign language because she was getting on the verge of like being deaf and all that. And so she was showing him like her favorite symbols that she was doing and all. And then I was like, I had never paid attention to this until now, but she was like, oh yeah, it's like, and I was like, oh, I'm not saying that. Like, okay. But you can do it to somebody. And I feel like some people like we may as friends like we may think that it's like funny, but then like if you actually talk to somebody who like deals with sign language every day, they may take offense to that, and you just don't know like
You don't understand.
Yeah.
And then it'll just.
because it's like what do you do from this point? Like I was just like I just saw something on a movie, but then it's like you really don't know like how that person may feel about it because they're just like no, I know, like yeah, like what do we no? So it's just okay, like what do we do from here? Where do we go?
Yeah, but you bring up a good point. Like speaking of actors, you know, obviously this, you know, also leads to like careers and stuff. So we can like kind of talk about like, you know, for example, actors.
Right.
You look at me.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's a good segue.
Miss Theater, you want to show an example of how you act or an
You know
extra-
what? I think I will. Thank you.
So sassy.
No, but I think about a year ago, I was a part of a dinner theater production. We were outside and everyone was in a bunch of tables eating, and my job was to just walk around, be in character, and entertain the audience. It was mainly improvised. But what I noticed is that when it comes to interacting with the audience, you do have to look for those subtle nonverbal cues, because some audience members just don't want to have attention drawn to themselves, and you have to notice that as an actor. So you're like, oh, okay, I shouldn't bother this person.
Right.
But then there are some people who are like, just maybe they're bored, and it's my job to make sure they're entertained. So I go up to them, and first I try it out. I'm like, hey, I was in character, so I was a bridesmaid from New Jersey. So I was like, hey, sweetie, what are you doing here by yourself? You know? And
Oh God.
but she was immediately into it. She's like, oh my gosh, yay, one of the actors is talking to me. How exciting. But yeah, I mean, that was fun. I
That
had a
does
fun
sound
Oh
time.
my gosh,
Yeah.
she had a great Jersey accent.
Yeah, I know.
Get that, get that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because with these two different sections of nonverbal communication, I think actors are really skilled in having awareness of both of those and bringing them together and using them to build a career out of. So we can discuss careers too, because there's a ton of them. Like even sign language interpreters, they make a whole career out of nonverbal
'Cause
communication.
I didn't even know, like, I go to church every Sunday, but my church, they don't give sign language interpreters. But I watch, like, mega churches, like, throughout my week and all, while I'm working and stuff. And some of them, you'll see them on the camera, like, doing the hand movements and all
Right.
that. I'm just like, that's crazy. But I like that you're going to your audience who can't, like, actually hear what you're saying or something, but they can still get the word however they may need to. So it's like I feel like that's a great job to have because you're helping somebody else understand something that they may not hear or
Yeah.
may not want to miss out on. So I feel like that's a good job to have.
Have
What
you guys
I-
noticed how they mouth things out?
Yeah.
Yes,
and that's
I was
what I
just gonna
wondered,
say.
too.
I was just gonna say that.
I wanted it to because like working at Starbucks, I have a guest that comes and he's deaf, and then he'll talk, but nothing will come out of his mouth, but his mouth will move, and then he'll just like. But I'm like, what are you saying? But then like when I first started working there, and I didn't know who he was, like everybody else, all my coworkers knew who he was because like he's a regular. But for me, like meeting him, I'm like, sir, I can't hear what you're saying, and he was like, no. And I was like, I don't want to come off as ignorant because it's like I never really dealt with a deaf person or somebody who needed to speak with sign language or anything like that. And it's like it makes you wonder like, okay, that's something I want to learn because you know how like
Yeah.
some people want to learn Spanish as a second language or French or something. I'm like, I kind of want to learn sign language because I feel like
Right.
you'll need that further on in life because you never know like what you may come across. So like him asking me for coffee, whenever he sees me, he has a pen and paper now because he knows like I don't know what he's saying. So it's like I know if you write it down, I got what you're saying now. But it's like I feel like if I was a sign language interpreter, I can probably let's craft it.
Let's do it.
Pour the
Yeah,
coffee, you know.
Or like, have you seen like those like on news, like those fake ones, like
I was just gonna say
like,
that
on
the
TV,
fake.
like people like
How do they not catch
they
them? I
just
don't understand.
pretend to like they'll throw up fake signs. And,
Oh, really?
And they get away. Well, some they don't get away with it. At the end of the
No.
day, like at first they do.
But they're
pretend-
already on TV.
on TV, yeah. So, they're
it's
like
too
doing
late by
fake
then.
symbols, and then like the actual people are like, "What is he saying?" And then they get
Right.
caught.
Yeah,
and
the
That's
it's all-
kinda
deaf people are the
dangerous,
ones
too.
that have to
Really
be like,
dangerous
oh,
and scary.
this person isn't saying anything. They're just
Or they
saying
could be saying
nonsense.
something really
bad.
That's what I'm saying. Because if I'm like, if I'm
Oh my God.
like, you gonna be like, wait,
Maybe
she said West Side. That's a gang. But it's like, yeah, like what
the
are
most
we
randomest
doing?
or just the most outrageous signs, and they'll be like, "What is he doing?" And then they get caught, and it's over for them. And it feels bad for the actual like people that know how to do their job, and it's like they probably seen them like, "Why waste your time? Like,
Exactly,
Why do that?
yeah.
And you could have. It just it sucks. But it's very interesting.
It's ridiculous.
Very.
It also reminds me of dancers too, because they say a lot with their bodies.
Yeah, because it's like if you do jazz, you're like, if you do like, I know ballet, that
It's
is
very elegant.
yeah, and it's a form
graceful.
of grace and like, what is it? Is it feng shui? Or is that
Sure.
but it seems like something passionate, you know, because it's like my little cousin, she did for her one of her senior assignments that she had to do before she graduated was like a whole dance. So they did like a colorful type of dancing thing, but it was like each group had their own segment of like what kind of dances they did, and then they all came on the stage and did like one big group dance and all. But it was like different ones. It was like from jazz, ballet, it was hip hop, and different ones had different meanings to it, and you can just tell by how their body is moving. So it's like in the African American culture, like when we do dances, we do like if you go to Africa and stuff like that, they would and it's like from the beats and okay, yeah, it's like from the beats and all that.
It says a lot of different.
Yeah, but it says like a lot of different things, and it's like if you go to like Hispanic cultures and stuff like that, like they dance differently, and it's just like you see different ways of how people can dance with their body and like what
you
it's
can tell
being
whole
said.
stories with dance too.
Exactly, and it's
ballets
like,
are, whole
from your face
storylines,
expressions. Like in church, we have like praise dancers and mime dancers. Like they can do the whole song. Like the song can play in the background, but your body is saying what the song is saying. So you see Jesus being nailed on a cross. You see this happening. You see different things. Like I'm crying. Like it's a lot of different factors that can come out from your body dancing.
Yeah.
I wish I could dance. I could never.
But you can act though. So
I could act, yeah. I could pretend I'm dancing.
I got like 2 left feet
I can
sometimes.
pretend
I can
dance.
cha-cha slide. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Hey.
Keep it shuffle. Let's down.
Oh my God.
There's also commentators, sportscasters too.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't really see them, so they only rely on that vocal part of nonverbal communication,
Correct.
their tone and everything.
And they
'Cause-
really have to focus on pacing.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. To keep
Oh.
people interested.
Yeah.
'cause-
Stephen A. Smith does not keep me interested. But yeah, but it's like you want to keep going because you want to hear what they have to say. But
Yeah. Nobody wants to listen to.
Some monotone,
Yeah.
like just drive, like
Drive.
Because that's like,
You know what I mean?
it's like even going to a class with a teacher that's monotone. Like we've all had that one teacher, like growing up, whether it be elementary, middle school, or high school, and they've been like, okay, class, so let me tell you, whether it be a substitute teacher, and you're just like, bro,
I'm fall asleep.
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Like I'm the one, I'll pick out my lashes. I'll do whatever it needs to keep myself entertained. But I feel like that's so disrespectful and rude because the person's taking out time of their day to do something. But it's like you're keeping me so disinterested. Like
Right.
I'm not interested in anything that you're saying.
Singers too, they do a lot with their voice because they send different messages with their vocal inflections and songs too.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Don't get on my mom.
And it keeps the audience interested
Yeah,
again, you know.
exactly. Because if you look back at any of her concerts, each sound that she comes out, it'll be different. So if she had a show in Atlanta, it'll be different than her show in the Bay Area. If she had a show in Chicago, it'll be different than Hawaii. Like it'll just be different, like her vocal ranges and all that. But
Yeah.
it'll be the same exact song, or it can be a song that she made back in 1999, and then it's like 2025 right now, and it's like the same exact song, but it's like sung differently. But that's
I think of Michael Jackson though. Like he wouldn't
That's
be
a
the
good
same
one.
if he wasn't like.
One walk. So,
why did you say
But like it adds so much to
yeah,
it.
he's
you know?
so-
What are you doing? Oh my god, you're
Iconic.
keeping him alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much you can do with nonverbal communication.
I think of rock when I think of anything that portrays strong emotion
Oh, 'cause
in
they're like,
music. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Their heads.
And
And
they
the way their
like
voices are.
yeah.
There's a certain voice that you need for rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scream, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I'd be like some emo stuff. I'd be scared. Or like,
Go on.
no, you go.
Okay. Opera.
Oh,
I
opera.
was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say
a good
opera.
one.
Very, I mean, I see it as.
But opera singers, they sing with their hands too.
They do.
Cause they be like, yeah, they do
Ooh,
it with their.
cute.
I know, I already see that.
That reminds me, fashion designers, they communicate through their pieces.
Oh, yeah, because then people
Oh,
be
that
dressing
can go
crazy.
for all artists,
Yeah.
really.
Some
yeah.
of the, some of them go way over the top.
Yeah, but and then it'd be crazy because like we'll be like, "What you got on?" But it can really like state a fact. Like when they go to those fashion shows for like Louis Vuitton or little things like that. Like if you look at ASAP Rocky, how he may dress, or what was it? What was just happening at the Grammys last night or something?
Oh, I don't know.
It was like some type of big award show that the Oscars.
Yeah.
But you
Oh,
see
yeah.
like all the people walking on the red carpet and they're having like a different outfit on, and some of them you're just like, child, and then some of them are like, oh my god, that's actually cute, and some of them are like, okay, like you should go back and go find something else to wear. But each piece that they're wearing has a statement with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like with the designer creating it, it can be some part of like a nonverbal thing because they're just like, this may excuse me, like represent for like non-hate, or this may represent a piece for like, I just want to show off my body, or I
And
just
that's the
want to be
thing about
elegant.
art, you know? It's crazy because I think art transcends those two boundaries that I stated earlier, because you're not using your voice,
Like Mona Lisa.
you're not using your body, but you created something that still speaks to people and sends a message.
Yes.
I think that's a great thing to end off on, to show that, I mean, yeah, nonverbal communication can be split up into those two things, but it's still everywhere around us, and anything that people make is a message, you know?
Yeah.
It can be furniture, it can be a car, but it's cool to see that we can communicate still without language, and we can pass through language barriers and still say things to each other that resonate without having to focus on the words, you know. But that's all we have time for tonight. This has been Read the Room with Elijah Bautista, your moderator Andrew Gondry, Alyssa Tinsley, and Destiny Ribeiro. We're from the Solano Community College TV studio. Good night.
If you are interested in a career in sports broadcasting,
Whether you're commentating a live game
or hosting your own TV show,
For more information, contact Greg Poff. That's me at solano.edu.
we hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
It's more than just sports, it's an education.